What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live duel. Today on the left side here, we have the Spright Runick deck going up against Orcust Runick with the added of the Bestials. This is not the same deck list as yesterday. We did add the Bestial part into it, which is really cool. We wanted to test it out, trying to get back the resources of Regained. Before we dive in, over to like, comment, subscribe, though, we are going to be seeing the Orcust deck going to be choosing to go first here with a copy of Girsu in the hand there. We also have some Runick cards here. We'll see the normal summon act for the effect, sending the copy of Nightmare. We do have the Harp Horror in the hand. Not the greatest card to have in the hand, but still not the worst. Then we're going to see the effect here, making the 2 tokens. This is going to actually give us full access to Galatea as well. But we're going to see Ding to be able to summon before, we link away for a copy of the Huggins. Activate the effect, discarding the copy of the Harp Horror. And also getting a search for a Fountain here. Very nice, you want to discard some cards. Discarding those Orcust cards, giving us that resources like, Orcust's second hand essentially is the graveyard. Therefore, it does not matter when we discard stuff. We're going to see them link away into Galatea. Then we're going to activate the effect of Harp. Banishing into Simple Summon, out to Simple Skeleton. Nightmares can activate its effects, dumping to bump up with the World Wand here. World Wand can then summon out the Harp Horror once again, and then we can see the effect of Girsu shuffling back to be able to put down the counterspell of the Orcusts. So we have a few options here. We are dark locked. But we are going to be making a link river with that token. We can now go for the second copy of Galatea. Then we can use the first Galatea in the extra monster zone to actually just go for a Ding. Ding will be able to attach. And then we can free up our EMZ for a copy of Hugin or an SP in this case. Or an IP as well. Because then we can go with the effect of the counter trap. Afterwards, we can then use the IP to go into an SP. And we can free up our extra monster zone for the ability to start using those Runick cards. We're going to see them go Battle Phase and attack into the copy of the IP. Then we're going to go Destruction. But we do have the Protect of Dingirsu here, which doesn't activate, which is very cool, by the way. We do have an evenly match. We have an Omni Negate for that. To be able to deal with it, having those going second cards in your deck is very powerful, but having an Omni Negate is even more. We're then going to be seeing the copies of Flashing Fire going to be activating. Effect, trying to summon out the Hugin there, and then they can activate the effect, discarding a copy of Slumber. And we do have our own copy of a Runick card. I believe this is Freezing Curse. It's going to be able to negate. But we do have a blue that can special himself out. Hugin having that interaction of being a level 2. There might have been a world where he went into SP there instead to banish it. We are going to be seeing them search for a jet. We are going to be flashing firing here. With 2 cards left in the hand, we could just SP. We're going to swim out to the carrot here. Then we can overlay for a copy of Gigantic. But this is what I mean. At this point, you can just banish. You can SP the Gigantic as well if we wanted to, or find a way to stop it. We did put back and then draw with the copies of the Fountain. But we're going to see us go for a copy of Tip here. Going to be able to search and banish the top card from our deck, which we are going to go for Dispelling here. And getting rid of that copy of the blue. Gigantic's going to activate its effects, going for a copy of they can't really go for any of their lines of their Sprites already activated. They can go for Jet, but they can't really go for any of the live twins because they've already started banishing them. I suppose they still can. We do see that one pink is in the graveyard as well as red. But Orcust definitely has control over this match. We're going to go for a Jet here. Jet's going to be able to search for a copy of Starter or Smashers. I assume that we're not playing Double Cross with evenly matches in our deck. But then they're just going to be dispelling them here. And they're going to get rid of one of the cards. But they're going to chain the Starter there. Definitely making sense. But they don't have a red anymore, so they're going to have to do blue. It's going to get rid of their copy of Smiting Storm. But like, we still have the ability to go into an SP, because SP is a link 2, which is really nice. And I mean, this is not really threatening there, so we're going to see the deck not have very much for us, as well as banishing those Runick cards are quite good when you're playing against a Runick deck. You know, every time you're going to be stopping them from drawing more of them now that their deck is less consistent with those Runick cards, and they won't be able to put them back. And of course, if you get rid of like 3 copies of Destruction, then of course I just lose that interaction altogether. And then they have actually less Runick cards to activate to be able to get that draw back as well, that draw as well. You see them on 0 cards here. We're going to see them Orcust stuff, do Orcust stuff. And some people were asking yesterday, like, what's the power of Orcust, or Orcust could never win anything. But like, this is what the deck does. It just outgrinds you, and then like just puts you essentially on better habit. And then we didn't even see the IP do anything, right? We do have a copy of the Armageddonite, which is going to start doing all the Orcust combos. And it's like the Orcust stuff just replenishes every single turn. We're going to be seeing them banish 2 cards off of the copy of Smiting Storm, drawing an additional 3 here. And like, the deck doesn't just win in 1 turn, but also the Runick stuff doesn't make you win in 1 turn. Therefore, when you play a bunch of cards alongside Runick, you can actually make it so that the deck isn't like as powerful as it needs to be. Like, it's not like a 1-turn kill deck. It's like an outgrind your opponent. I'm going to link away into powerful stuff. I won't have a battle phase, but I can just keep grinding, bouncing, banishing, and doing a bunch of stuff. And so we're going to be seeing the Spright player end up admitting defeat here, knowing that they have completely lost the game. Chances are they won't be able to get back into that, needing multiple cards to get into it. Like, that's also something with the when you are playing like Runick cards, you need to have multiple forms of interaction, like, to continue your deck. You're never really on just a top deck mode. So having like a very grinding game, or a deck that grinds a lot or draws a lot, is quite good because of like the Runick interactions. Now, diving on into game 2 here, we're going to be seeing Spright going to go first is quite high. The Runick cards are not the greatest going second as well. Obviously, if you open up enough of them, breaking boards is quite easy with the deck. We're going to see the normal summon out Lila, going to be summoning out the pink from the deck here. This is a really good start as well, because then you have access to both without having to go for your gigantic or your Spren lines. Now you can see a flashing fire going to be summoning out here, I should say, before they even link away here. Going for that copy of Hugin. Hugin can then discard a card, discarding a copy of the Frost. So even if that Lila would have gotten negated, we would have been able to have that additional draw, or that additional summon to make it out. We do have Fountain as well as Tip in the hand, though. We are going to make a Gigantic. Gigantic can then summon out Blue. It also kind of protects us from the Nib. Then Blue's going to activate its effect, searching for a copy of Jet or Jet, and then Jet's going to search for a starter here. Or a Smashers. That's also a very good option. I mean, Smashers can get rid of a board. We have a starter already, and then they can go for probably a copy of Carrot, to be honest. We then have a lot, so we can go for a copy of the Kissy Kill here. And that's going to be able to bring back the blue. They cannot get hit with a Bestial currently because we do have the Gigantic up, which already has used the effect. They do try, though, which is kind of funny. They're going to go see for the Lilo. Is going to be bringing back out the copy of the Kill, and we get to have that additional draw here. We also have Tip, so we can get 8 more draws. We can go Tip, activate, search for whatever the Runick spells we don't have, and then we can put back 2 to draw 1. Are we trying to go for an SP line here? No, going for an IP, okay. Choosing not to go for anything there. They do have the negate that they want to probably keep, and they forgot about the Bestials. I feel like we definitely should tip to draw first. Going for a Muckraker here. And then we are going to be going for tip. We do have Smashers in the hand as well. We're going to search for a copy of the Freezing Curses. So we're going to try to go for a negate, and then we're going to go Slumber to protect. Now we're just banishing cards off the top of our opponent's deck to do it. We are going to be putting back 3 here. I suppose drawing 3 when we have 2 in hand is quite good rather than drawing 2 while we have 3 in hand. Slumber is not the best Runick card to draw, but we're going to see a set 2 and a pass. Oh, we couldn't go for the IP because we are Fiend locked. But they're going to activate the Eradicator here, getting rid of a Gigantic Sprite because it is over 32. Holy. Maybe this is for a Thrust package? And they are like forced to chain their spells. They're going to chain tip here. And it's going to get negated. They're going to then chain a copy of Flashing Fire. I suppose that you better use them now because they won't have a chance to use it at all. They're going to go for a copy of Hugin. Hugin can then activate. Or they're going to get rid of a Fountain first. But then Hugin can activate here. Discarding a copy of the Harp or of the Nightmare, I should say. So they have Bestial as well as a copy of Wand in the hand. So not opening Harp this time, opening up instead a copy of the Nightmare. They do Ash this, which is interesting. Nightmare is going to be then sending the Harp. Harp can then banish itself to then let us go a Girsu here. And on the Girsu, we can go Freezing Curses, target to negate. I mean, when we try to bring back out with the Kissy Kill, we're most likely going to be getting hit with that copy of Bestials. But we do have a bell for that. That is crazy. Therefore, we can then. They're like, this is what I drew off of my Runick card. That's crazy. Then we're going to see the Hugin protect with the copy of. Well, Hugin's going to protect, not popping that copy of Girsu. And all they have left now is a Smashers. I mean, there is a world where you do just Smashers this, but they're going to summon out the copy of Typhon here, and that's going to get hit with a Smashers there. And they're just going to scoop it up, realizing the game has been lost. Which makes sense. Like, you can't really beat the like follow up of that. They're going to be left with like a copy of like wand in the hand, and then a copy of I mean, they have Gears doesn't do anything in the graveyard. They have a Bestial. That's really it. They're going to be on top deck, and at that point, it's like, oh, well, we're pretty much losing. But diving on to game 3 now, we are going to be seeing the Orcust player choosing to go first. We do see a handful of green on the left side. I do see a copy of the Forbidden Droplets, but they're going to activate Fountain first, and then we're going to activate. We do have a copy of Slumber in the hand. We're then going to activate the Slumber to summon. Summoning with the Hugin. Then we can activate the effects as 1. It's going to be dumping a Babble here. Searching us for a second Fountain. And we do see a copy of Bell in the hand. Then we can activate Tip to search. Going for that copy of Freezing Curses. We are going to activate the effect of the Fountains. Can get hit with a Bell, but we are just now looping their hand for 1. You know, we can still be able to put them back and draw during the next turn, which is quite nice for us, especially when we're only drawing 2. We're going to then activating the effect of the Lubellion, sending itself to search for a Magnemut, and then we are going to have Magnemut now in the hand. Can we get it on the field, though, is the question. Like, as good as Magnemut is an interruption versus our opponent, it also is, you know, kind of important for us to go into some link plays. We're actually going to be passing on this, not having the greatest hand, so really needing that draw too. There it looks like. Then we see another copy of Bell in their hand as well, which can be quite detrimental to this combo. We see a Carrot too. But they're going to activate their own copy of Tip. And that's going to surely be fine. Going for Hugin. Hugin can then activate effects discarding a copy of I would assume it's going to be the copy of Forbidden Droplets. We do have the copy of Freezing Curses to negate. And we hit a blue evenly matched and a Fountain. That Fountain is huge. They're going to activate Fountain themselves. Get hit with another copy of Bell, which is kind of rough. But opening double Bell is not bad. We're going to see them special note a Carrot here. Hitting that Fountain off one of the Runick cards is quite good. We can then go for a Gigantic line. And we still have the ability to send and summon with the Gigantic. So like we can go for the copy. Oh, we're just going to go for blue here though. Blue can then search for Jet. We do have to discard, but that's we haven't detached yet, which is shouldn't come up. But Jet's going to summon himself out, search off the blue. And then we get to search for, oh, they do realize now. Okay. Searching maybe for a Carrot or, I guess they search for a starter here. We could have potentially gone for a Smashers. I don't know if they take it out of their deck going second. But we could gone for maybe a Smashers play, get rid of that Fountain. Starter's going to go for a copy of the red. So we have to be careful when we link away our stuff now, because if we link them away, they're going to be Bestial Food. Granted, not this turn, but for the following turn. And like all we have left is a single copy of Tip that they're going to keep in their hand here. Now we're going to go Magnemut effect, banish to summon. Magnemut effect on the field here. And they can't really red negate this because of the fact that, you know, they already have, they're already going to have so much advantage off of it. They could have negated the effect on the field, or even potentially even negated the effect in the hand, destroying it with Gigantic. But if they have any other kind of stuff including a copy of any of the Runick cards, they would have gotten such an advantage from that. We're going to see them activate the effect of Lubellion now. So there might have been a world where actually destroying it with the red is worth it, but we're going to see them destroy the Lubellion. Yeah, that was definitely a misplay. If we would have tried to just go Lubellion destroy, if we would have tried to destroy the, if our goal was just to destroy that Lubellion, we should have just destroyed the copy of Magnamut, unless they're like counting on them having another Bestial, and then they just want them to stop them going for the Lubellion summon, because they can only summon himself once. We're going to see them get the Harp out, getting hit with the Unicorn there, discarding their one copy of the Fountain, but I guess they don't really want to banish. They want to shuffle it back. We do see them pass on that, though. And they're going to activate their Fountain of their own. And they look in the graveyard like, I have nothing here, which is kind of unfortunate. But if they get rid of that, they're going to be able to win. So just go Battle Phase attack with the Hugin and then passing on it. But now we do have a spell live. Now we have our EMZ. So then we normal summon Armageddon Knight, activate the effect, and this is full Orcust combo. Gonna be able to send a copy of the Harp to the graveyard. Then we can summon it out. And we have skipped our battle phase the last turn. So that's going to let us be able to even potentially go battle phase. We are running close to time. We're going to summon out that copy of the Girsu. Girsu can then take a big dump, dumping out the World Wand. We can then banish to summon here. And now we have everything we want in the world. They can go for a copy of the Dark Charmer if they wanted to. That's going to be able to take, most likely not the IP. We're going to take the blue here. Then we're going to activate the effect of the Druisworm on the copy of the IP. Then we're going to go for a copy of Lubellion. Then Druisworm's going to be sending the copy of the Unicorn here. Placing the copy now of Regained onto the field. And we only have to deal 68 to them because they did take some damage off of the starter. They're just going to go battle phase, and then they're going to link away into a copy of Chaos Angel. And that's going to be game for the Orcust player here. So seeing the Spright end up not opening very good, being dealing with the copies of Orcust, which is quite powerful. That's the grind game of Orcust is just insane. You're going to be able to protect it with a Dingirsu. Regardless, hopefully you guys have been watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see some more content like this. Don't forget to stay safe. Peace.